Welcome back to Suladan Plays Dark Souls, Daughters of Ash. Last time, we dealt with the Sanctuary Guardian and kind of made our way all the way back to the start of the DLC. And didn't find anything interesting. I mean, didn't find Artorias. Basically, didn't find Artorias. Curious where Artorias went. But one would presume that he should be here. So I'm gonna go mess with Kalameet. Seems like just as good of anything to do. And, you know, after I go pester Calameet, I know Gough is going to wanna, you know, help me with Calameet. I don't actually remember what happens if you try to pester Calameet before talking to Gough about, you know, shooting him down. I think he just flies around and, you know, does unkillable things. But let us find out, will you? Stop chasing me, you goober. I don't want to deal with dogs. They're too hard to hit. When able of... Oh, there's more of you than I thought. This may have been a bad idea. But alas, I cannot change course now, for there are dogs chasing me, and there's too many of them for me to mess with. So I'm just gonna run through here. Probably get fried. Oh, I got 7,000 souls, too. Hi, Kalameet. Hello, Crystal Lizard. Did you just jump off? It would have been so funny if it gave me Twinkling Titanite because it jumped off the cliff. That was one flaw in the original Demon Souls. You had to manually loot them, so if they ran off a cliff, oh, you ain't getting that back. There's a message. Dragon high above the sky, out of sight of the naked eye. That's not out of the sight of anything. I was right! He does flying doom unkillable things of deafness. I kind of hoped it would just let me go loot the items, but I was wrong! I was very wrong! I forgot to use the bonfire, didn't I? And I don't have that one kindled either. I don't like wasting so much humanity to kindle all these things. So we will probably be going back to the chasm cell, depending on how long it takes me to deal with Kalameet. Just depends on how quickly I relearn his moveset. Assuming they haven't changed anything. Assuming he doesn't fly down and have Artorias riding on his back, Nameless King style, in which case I just set the controller down and walk away. Hey Gough, I met your friend. You wanna help me a little bit with that?
Good morrow. Is the black dragon posing the duress?
Yes.
Yes. I thought as much. He's called Calameet. Ferocious dragon indeed. Even mighty Anna Londa dared not provoke his ire. I see little good coming from this, but thy intent is to persevere to the bitter end.
I only just now realized Kalameet's name. I know he drops the Calamity ring. I never realized how similar Kalameet and Calamity is. Kalameet. Calamity. Anyway, yes.
Good, good. What is bravery without a dash of recklessness? I've taken a liking to thee, and I owe thee much for thy service to Artorias. Now, watch, and see how Gough hunts dragons.
I should say I haven't found Artorias yet, but I'm still working on that, so my future service to Artorias. Man, you're covered in dust. You're not blind, sir. Take off the helmet and you'll realize it's just full of tree sap. How do you not realize that? That is really a good question. may have fused to his face by now. And suddenly, one of his wings is pinned to him.
Yes. A truer shot was never loosed. That bat will be grounded for a good spell. The rest is in thine hands. I await good tidings. Dragon slaying. Knighthood's highest calling.
Just because they got in your way and you wanted to expand the kingdom is no reason to go hunt the poor things to extinction. I mean, Kalameet did light me on fire, so... without me provoking him. I mean, I went into his territory, I guess. I'm sure he thinks he has good reason. Just as I think I have good reason. Never forget that when somebody does something to you and you think that they have wronged you, that it's not always done in malevolence. That driver that's tailgating you on the road that is really being a nuisance may not be doing it malevolently, they just may be bad drivers. The person blinding you with their brights, they may not realize that they're aggravating you, they just may obliviously have their brights left on. Sometimes when you take a moment to remember that people most often aren't doing things to directly impede you, it, puts a bit more shine to life and makes it easier to live without bitterness and whatnot being as much of a problem. You, on the other hand, as an enemy in a video game, are directly trying to cause me harm. Because that is what you are programmed to do. But alas, you can... Oh, I need a bigger club. I shall poke him with the sharp poking stick. I don't remember how well this is going to go with Kalameet. A club versus Kalameet. Let's see. I mean, I honestly can swap this back out for something else, because I don't need poise. And I need the fire resistance. So yeah. That's good to remember before the fight. Bye, Crystal Lizard. I'm just gonna pretend he's like a gecko and he's like climbed down the underside of the rocks. I don't know where you're at, Kalameet, but I want my souls. Oh, there you are. Hi, Calamity Dragon. Yeah, that's why you don't want to get hit by it. You really want to unlock the target if you can when doing that, so you can actually see when you need to roll. Oh yeah, that's right. You're a right pain to hit with target lock on. It's a pain to shield properly without it, yet it's a pain to hit him with it. Ah, glorious. I'm gonna have to switch weapons probably. Oh! fun. Okay. Yeah, you don't want to get caught in that. That puts a calamity ring effect on you for a bit. Good old calamity ring. The reason I'm using this is I can use a sideways swipe, which will give me more coverage, which will allow me to more easily hit Kalameet versus the more vertical swing of the club. Likewise, it hits the dogs better. Oh, and it doesn't one-shot them. Do I have a Titanite slab? Do I have a Titanite slab? That makes me sad. If I had a Titanite slab, I could finish upgrading this. And then it would one-shot them. But alas, I do not. And I'm not going to try to go find out where to get one. It's because I couldn't get around him quick enough. Man, you did a lot of damage for just being a stray dog. Back off. Back off. Back off. Let us try this. Let us try it. For honor and glory and all that random nonsense. Running away from the dragon. Towards the souls now. Oh, his name is even Calamitous Kalameet. Please tell me that something didn't upgrade him because I... Like... Was that there before? I rolled into it. Oh, Dark Souls 1 and your glorious four-directional rolls. Yes, that's sarcasm. Can you not? Oh, that does nowhere near as much damage, and that makes me sad. I may switch back to my club. This was a horrible idea, but oh, it's partly because it's plus 15, I'm betting. I mean, that's a big difference in of itself. Oh, too early. Back far enough, that wasn't even worth it. Ow. You don't want to be in front of him when he does that. I need stamina. Bad timing, bad timing. Good timing. Yes. Oh, do remember there is a cliff that away, so try not to lead him that away. if if you like having one less thing to worry about. Yeah. Oh, I got grazed. Could have gone much worse. That was greed on my part. Yeah, can I see where I'm going, please? Oh, okay, that. I couldn't see that he was doing that. I'm not as good at dodging that one. I need to just tank that hit. This is gonna hurt. There's certain hits, like that's best to just back away from. That you can punish. At least with the club. That's fine as long as you're not under him. Man, I missed fighting Calameet. He's too early. My timing is way off, but still, it's at least fun. Can you not do the same thing multiple times? Really? Man, I must have really ticked you off. 3 times. Oh, this is gonna hurt. Okay. I don't know what happened there, but I'll take it. I got stuck. Like, I mean, where I was at, I was too close to him with too little stamina. I took an extra swing, I spent too much stamina, and it was all on me. I'm invincible in fog walls, unlike Dark Souls 2, because they didn't like that players were doing that. Supposedly, they didn't like it. I don't know what they did or didn't like. I just know they made it easier to get interrupted out of fog walls. Probably for that very reason. Let us go, 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 go! 95% fire resist will come in very handy, though. Kalameet. Oh, not now. Can you not do that right when we get... It's a little early for that. Okay. I'm making bad decisions all around. Dead. I didn't expect him to do that bad early in the fight. So that's a thing. Oh, wait. Oops. That's one thing that made a difference. Yeah, remember, heavy gauntlets give you a lot of attack power. So that's probably one reason when I changed to that, the sword, it was doing so much less damage. Wow, the Sunlight Maggot has 24 fire resistance? The Sunlight Maggot outdoes the Gold Helm in fire resistance. Wow. Okay, one, I forgot about Havel's glove. Well, let's see if I've got a lighter heavy gauntlet. Do not, the Golem gauntlets are still 9.7. Well, we're still below 50%. Basically, the idea was to kind of squeeze out a little bit more fire resistance. Because that should, you know, chip down on the damage I'm taking by another 10%. 10% of the remainder. Actually, I don't know whether resistances are accounted for before or after the shield's mitigation. Also, don't think it would make a difference if they're both percentages. Multiplicity rules, A times B and B times A will equal out to the same thing. Anyway, let's focus on the dragon. Can you not? I'm trying to get a target lock on you, sir. Oh, that was right on the edge. One annoying thing, the range of his fire, the fire sweep is about the same as his lock-on range. So when you back away from it, you'll generally lose target lock. At least it's not until after you're out of range, though. Thank you for nearly just one-shotting me right there. Can I see where I'm going, please? That is not where I'm... Will you lock onto the stupid giant dragon? He's not hard to see. You didn't lose visual. Goodness. You're just gonna fall over underneath the dragon. There's that. I just really don't like that attack in general because it doesn't let me get under it. Basically, it's because they know that quadrupedal bosses, you try to get under them, so they gave him a way to disengage, which is brilliant, it's just frustrating. His lock-on point is in front of me, his damage box is behind me, and because of his legs, I couldn't run sideways out from under him. Sure, why not? I mean, the tail hit 2 to 3 feet to the right of me, but sure, why not? That is 4 more stamina. I cannot resist. We're going to start pushing it into that again. Like I mentioned before, I'll have a lot easier time actually hitting Kalameet because of the horizontal swing will hit its legs better than the, almost vertical of the club. Sometimes in Dark Souls, you've really got to be willing to change your weapon to deal with a certain task. I like the Man Serpent Greatsword anyway. It's one of my favorite Dark Souls 1 weapons. It would be my favorite of the vanilla game the base game weapons, with the Gold Tracer being my favorite of the DLC weapons. Gold Tracer has everything I love about a dagger, but in bigger, you know, stronger form. With the ability to two-hand it for, you know, actual dagger speed. You're just gonna take that other dog with you, huh? Okay. That's a thing. But having this upgraded should make a large difference. And yeah, the sunlight mag, the glow is a little bit of a eye strain. Gonna keep wearing it though for now, because I like having that bit of extra fire resistance. Oh, I am fat rolling. I was not fat rolling a minute ago. I mean, you saw it, and I didn't change anything since then. This thing didn't get heavier, right? No, don't unequip it. I don't understand why I'm fat rolling now and I wasn't, like, literally with the same equipment a few minutes prior. That's puzzling. I don't know, maybe I'll have to give that up. Okay, whatever. Maybe it glitched out a little bit. Decent amount of damage. I gotta be careful not to get greedy though, like that. See, I can hit him more easily though. I sacrificed swing speed for that. Oh, that was almost too close. Well, I didn't have much chance of rolling through it, so I tanked it instead. I like that he can do that with either forelimb. It's a nice touch. Can you stop spamming that? It's just aggravating. It's repetitive. It breaks immersion when the same animation gets looped. If you're going to have the same attack play multiple times, you need to give it different animations and such, so it at least feels different. Come on. Just hanging out under a dragon using Estus. Let's dance. Not that dance. Can you do a different dance? Just better to shield it than to get hit by the full brunt of it. Oh, that was so... Wait, what? You can grab me after the initial thing? Oh, that's bull. That is some downright baloney. Okay, now we're playing defensive. Because we take double damage until that eyeball wears off. I ain't going near you until this wears off. This is an exception. Oh, I would already wore off. Okay, I thought it lasted longer than that. Okay. I don't know what that was, but okay. He just decides to, I guess it's to break target lock. Regain my bearings of which end of the battlefield I'm in. One time I did die with him just a few hits from dead because I walked off the waterfall. Death. Man. Is there a reason you sometimes just want to be right on top of me eternally and other times you won't let me near you? Is there just some little toggle box inside of your AI that says now is the time to be super close and now is not? I didn't have enough stamina to really commit there. See, I rolled, the attack had completed, and then his hitbox for some reason is still active. That was a waste of an Estus, but I topped off my health. Tail slam! Aww. You're not. Come on, go airborne, lunge at me. Okay, you were done moving. Okay, once the body part associated with the hitbox is no longer moving, it should not be capable of dealing damage. If I do that, and then somebody touches my hand no longer contains the potential to deal damage through a slap. If I do that, and then stop, and then somebody touches my hand, it should not still deal the damage that the punch would have brought. That is a problem that even Dark Souls 3 has with some of its lingering hitboxes. It is an aggravation. It aggravates me for two reasons. Well, sorry, not Dark Souls 3. No, Monster Hunter World actually has a lot of lingering hitboxes. That's what I'm thinking of. Sorry, Dragon. My mind went there. It bothers me from a design stance because it's something that we should be capable of fixing now. Honestly, I would love to see dynamic hitboxes. When an enemy's tail swings, have the speed at which it is currently moving magnify or dampen the amount of damage it deals so that, you know, at the end of a tail swing, when it's just a little, you know, the tip does a little flick, that should not deal as much damage as being hit with the full speed brunt of the main base of the tail. But a lot of games do that, and it's simpler programmatically. I understand why they're doing it. I see potential there that's not being used, and it's frustrating. instead of pushing for greater and greater fidelity in graphics, I think games should be pushing, in many cases, for greater fidelity in their mechanics. Like, I don't care if it's two cubes fighting it out on a screen with sword and shield. If they can encapsulate the mechanics of swordplay on a greater level than something that looks perfectly realistic, I lean towards liking the mechanical side better. I know that's a subjective thing. Some people want realistic graphics above all else. I think we're reaching a point, though, where hyperrealism is falling out of favor. We're seeing a lot more games fall back on retro style. Now, it may just be nostalgia, but, you know, it's interesting. Lingering hitboxes are something that just mechanically bother me. Calameet's got two attacks I've noticed to have a lingering hitbox, mainly involving his claws, but it reminded me of some of the dragons in Monster Hunter World that also have lingering hitboxes on a number of their attacks, mainly tail sweeps. Because the tail will have drastically slowed down and almost come to a stop and still carry with it the full brunt of the main tail sweep attack. And it's just either deactivate the hitbox sooner or, you know, involve some sort of variable damage. Oh, come on. The fact that deals a lot of damage is insult to injury. It could be worse. Okay. See, his attack had stopped and his head had even begun to retract, but because it's an active hitbox, guess what? Damage. His head lunges around and then starts to recoil. There's another level up. That just gets rid of the hefty blood stain that I've been carrying to Kalameet. And that one is literally just if you're standing there when he does that, you're not getting away. Actually, there is a way to get away, and it's one of those counterintuitive things. If he hits you, you'll fall over and be completely invincible throughout the entire attack. If you shield it, however, you'll go ting, ting. Can you not spam that of all attacks? Okay, you seem to be just staring off into the wall there for a bit. I'm glad we backed away when we did. Gotcha. That was risky, but it worked. Clipped your tail. I mean, I didn't cut it off, but I like grazed it with an attack. Okay, too close to a wall for comfort. Oh, that's right. When he rears back, he's just doing the proximity sweep. Up either way, but when he stays reared up, he's doing the proximity sweep. Back, 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 back. That's what, 5, 6 now. Thank you. So risky. Oh, I don't know where I'm at. Okay. He missed me, I missed him. Everybody missed everybody. Oh, I can die so easily right now. I'm trying to get him to back off for a second. This is one of those situations that I've mentioned before where if I'm low on health, my first instinct is to get away. Even if he's one hit from dead, I will so I didn't keep shielding it. I didn't get locked in a shield animation. Death. Gotcha. Kalameet, you are defeated. Black Dragon's Ring. The Calamity Ring. Victory achieved. I didn't get any salt. There they are. I was about to say, I want my souls. Now imagine beating him with the Ring of Sacrifice on. Overall, Calamitous is not a bad boss fight. He can be frustrating, and there's a couple lingering hitboxes that, yeah, that needed to be polished. But overall, he's interesting, he's challenging, and it comes down to you. If only Hawkeye were here. That's, I'm guessing the dev added that message, because I don't remember that one. He's talking about Gough, because his name is Hawkeye Gough. And that is the waterfall I've walked off before. But overall, I rate Kalameet as being one of the more entertaining of the dragon bosses in Dark Souls. He certainly does better than fighting Sin. Sin, however you pronounce his name. Sin's problem is he wants to stay airborne too much, and he, like, traverses the entire battlefield. Not a bad boss fight, and certainly much better than he was at release when every attack you landed on him did a lot of corrosion damage to your weapons, so that you'd end up having to switch through 3 weapons or more during the fight, and it just made fighting him It was an interesting concept, it just didn't work in, like, play. Maybe if your weapons auto-repaired when you went from broken auto-repaired at bonfires, but since they didn't, I didn't get to fight against him at that point in time. He was later patched and fixed to where he no longer did all that durability loss to your weapons. My main issue is just the fact that he traversed the battlefield too much. Kalameet goes from trying to stay in your face to backing off, and it's not repetitive or done in a distinct pattern that I've noticed. It's done in a more fluid way, but it is RNG, so okay, let me rephrase. But it is, at its basis, as a gameplay thing, there is some RNG involved, so sometimes he will just stay in your face forever. Not really forever, but for an excessive amount of time, and sometimes he won't. But this appears to be, at least as for this moment, the totality of what can be done in the DLC. Now I know, just naturally, there's got to be a way to get Artorias to come out of hiding. So I'm assuming that if I come back later, that he will be, you know, doing whatever it is he do. Oh, good stretch. I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can get a level up out of this. And also, I'm just barely, if I can get one more level up, I can just leave this equipped.
Is it?
Yes, I need to feed you full of stuff. Goodness, where are they?
Farewell.
Okay, now how much do I need to level up? I'll go get that off of the giants in Orlando, the big guardian guys. 38,000, so that shouldn't take me but a couple minutes. Oh, well, that's different. So he changed how that works. I want to see how that does, actually. One thing I do want to do, though, is that, well, I'll carry that just in case. So let's test what this does. The old ring, the Calamity ring used to just double the damage you take. No benefit, just you take double damage. It was basically just there to be a challenge ring. But now it says it increases my attack power. So how better to test it than by completely missing? That's the best way to test a weapon, isn't it? Don't make me aggro both of you. Are you saying it doubles my attack power? Oh, don't spoil me like that, man. No. Oh. So it's basically you shielded or all or nothing with the shield. I'm fascinated by that. So I deal double damage, but at the cost of my defenses. Actually, let me check real quick, make sure. Okay, so it does not affect poise, it just affects your regular stats, and it doesn't show the attack increase in your stats. To my knowledge, the original Kalameet only, like, doubled the damage you take. It didn't affect what you deal. So I'm gonna call this one of those things that the mod, like, improved. It actually made Calameet's ring something that you could strategically use. Be an interesting way to deal with a boss you're having trouble with. You deal double damage, but you've really got to be sure to dodge them. Oh, it's not quite double. Still, it's a market increase in damage. 226 to 300 something. Oh look, I got a halberd. Call Meta Knight, we found the halberd. So, with Kalameet dealt with the DLC currently dealt with, that leaves me to most likely go to Izalith next time. I would like to have dealt with Sigmire a bit more, but we found him in all locations except for Blighttown, so presumably he will be in Izalith, and if I just, pretend that all is normal, he should show up. And that gives me, another 12 stamina, which is a wondrous thing. Just gonna go ahead and warp. Just gonna warp. Just warping. Don't worry. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and pause here. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.